So today we're going to talk about rounding. Rounding. First of all, go ahead and label out a place value bunch of lines. So we have our ones, our tens, our hundreds, our thousands. We're going to put a number like 3, 4, 2, 1. So we have 1,243. We are going to round to the nearest hundred. So that means that we are going to be looking at this one right here. That's kind of the star of our show. We want to know if this is going to stay the same or change. The way that we determine that is we look at the place value immediately to the right. So if you're rounding the nearest hundreds, you're going to look at the tens. If you're rounding the nearest thousands, you're going to look at the hundreds. Because this digit right here determines whether this one changes or stays the same. The old rule is 4 or less, let it rest. 5 or more, let it soar. So looking at the place value immediately to the right, is this 4 or less, or is this 5 or more? It fits the category of 4 or less, so this is going to rest. Which means that your rounded, usually have another whiteboard, I don't know where to put it. Since this is 4 or less, it means that this is going to stay the same, and all the lower place values from where you rounded are going to become zeros. So 1,243 rounded to the nearest hundred is 1,200. Now let's do another one. I shouldn't just about erased up there, but I shouldn't have. We're going to do a real simple one. We're going to round this to the nearest 10. Which means we have our ones and our tens. We're going to be looking at this one. It is the star of our show. We want to know if this is going to change or if this is going to stay the same. We are going to look at the place value immediately to the right. We're going to see if it's 4 or less or 5 or more. This happens to be 4 or less, so this will not change, and all the lower place values will become a 0. Let's do one more, or maybe 2 more, or 3 more, or 4 more, or 5 more, 6 more, or 7 more, or maybe 8. Round this one to the nearest 1,000. Let's go even bigger. I'm feeling pretty happy with this one. So we're going to round to the nearest thousands. We got our ones, our tens, our hundreds, our thousands, and we even have 10,000s on this mamma jamma. So we're rounding the nearest 1,000. So this right here, he's the star of our show. We're going to look at the place value immediately to the right. And we're going to see if it's 4 or less or 5 or more. And that will determine whether this will change or stay the same. Is 9 4 or less, or is 9 5 or more? 9 happens to be 5 or more, so this will go up. Those are your only two options. It's up 1 or stay the same. That will change to a 5. It'll go up. And all of the lower place values will then become zeros. Now when it comes to adding, to round and then add, you might have a 4,622 plus 3,449. Now we're going to round to the nearest thousand, which means we're going to round to the nearest 1,000. That's the star of our show right there. We look at the place value immediately to the right. And this becomes, is this 4 or less, or is it 5 or more? It's 4 or less, so this rests. And all these lesser place values become zeros. We look at this, he's the star of this show over here. We look at the place value immediately to the right. Is this 4 or less, or is this 5 or more? This happens to be 5 or more, so this one's going to soar. Which means that this 4 becomes a 5, and all of the lesser place values become zeros. Now we can do 5,000 plus 3,000, and all these are zeros, so what's 5 plus 3? That equals 8. 5,000 plus 3,000 is 8,000. Now this is not the exact answer to this. This is just an estimate. So we need to put about, because 4,622 plus 3,449 is about 8,000. It's not exact. That's why this word is so very important. Rounding.